The original interview that we're now scripting into a feature film. We're going to meet casting directors, get actors, all of those things. But we've taken...
Oh, hold on. This is my favorite. So they're casting actors, and it's in my living room, which means I'm in it. And so I get creative control of who plays me, right?
Totally.
Yeah, okay.
I say this under my own free will, under no duress.
Yeah, you better. Continue.
I've totally lost my train of thought. That's right. So we've taken the original interview. It was an hour-long interview, and we've taken it down to 20 minutes and made a mini documentary. Now, it's not to be publicly released because it would kind of give away the whole movie that we're writing and making. But tonight here at the Orchard at 7 o'clock, we're doing a vision casting evening, and we are screening that 20-minute story as we begin to build momentum with Holy Spirit to see breakthrough released over this film, so we can take the story of what God released here and take it to the nations around the world on the biggest screens in the world.
And when you see it, there are parts of this screening that are original video that Amy and them shot from the. Can we tell them what happened?
Yeah, go for it.
So let's set up the teaser, because we're gonna play 20 minutes. We're gonna play 90 seconds. Amy and her husband Craig and some friends went camping in Alaska, on a mountain, and the weather changed dramatically. And that night went from something they'd planned, and they were very experienced, to 30 plus hours of being stuck on the mountain, and all the effects the cold had upon their bodies, their hearts, and their marriage, and their spiritual lives. And it is a moving. And you'll see some of the original footage that they took from that experience. I would encourage you, as we watch this and get just a taste, come back tonight at 7 and see the full 20-minute story of what God has done, and how Jared and his team are taking a story that God did in our midst of Orchard people, and he's going to take it to the nations. So, anything else to add before we watch?
No, you set it up great.
Let's watch this
Good
video.
job.
Seven years ago, I found myself clinging to a side of a mountain in Alaska. Caught in a raging windstorm that would forever scar my body from frostbite and nearly destroy my faith. What I didn't realize at the time was that God was going to use that storm to bring about some much needed changes in my life, in my heart, in my marriage, and it was ultimately going to lead to my husband's soul being redeemed.
It's a pretty cool story, and I would encourage you to come check it out tonight at 7. Jared, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. I tell him I'm jealous, because when I preach a sermon, and on Monday when I go to my computer and close that document, it's done. And he writes a movie, and it's going to be around for forever, you know? And so I have some more movie ideas for you, if you want to get into that. We're going to transition. We're speaking about something that Jesus taught. And today's teaching is going to, I hope, be very practical, and it's going to hit some of us right where we need God to speak to us. Jesus spoke something in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 6, that was so central and so important that we're going to go deeper into it. If you remember me talking last week about the chiasma, if you weren't here last week, you don't have to know this. The chiasma is a literary structure where everything at the first of the story, the first of the sermon, and the end of the sermon all relate, and it builds on itself to one central point. And Jesus' Sermon on the Mount is so masterfully written that it all goes to one central point. And so right near the summit, Jesus begins speaking about something over and over that's obviously of great importance to him. And it's something that's of great importance to our creator, our designer, our sustainer. We can assume it's important for us. And this is something central. I don't want us to take it lightly, but here's the deal. The topic I'm about to tell you is something we do take lightly. It's something we make jokes out of. It's something we go, oh, I just got it from my mom or my dad. It's just some part of my family. We're going to talk today about worry. Now, wherever you are, you're like, oh, well, I'm already convicted. He said the word, and I'm already worried about it. I'm worried about the sermon. Or you're not worried at all. And I know this, that there's a spectrum of emotions, and everybody's on a spectrum of worry. And some of you are known as a worrier. You wear the title, you know, all these things, and you know worry is a part of your life in a funny way, but people might not know how much it actually costs you. Others of us on the other side of the spectrum, worry is not something you deal with based on the way your temperament and personality and that God created you. Worry is not something I deal with until it's like one of the things that really gets you. But maybe you're married, or maybe you know somebody who is a worrier. And so today's sermon that Jesus speaks about is for all of us. And to start this, I'm going to go back to Genesis, because in Genesis, we know that God created us. God created humanity. He designed humanity a certain way and how to operate in perfection. Did you know in perfection, there's no worry? That we were created to have perfect peace and joy, to live fully in the present, to have patience. But we know that in creation, we chose selfishness. We chose our own way. We chose to seek our own kingdom. You know, Jesus says, seek first the kingdom. We sought our kingdom, and in that there was sin, and suffering entered the earth. And when sin and suffering entered the earth,